Good morning everyone. Welcome to the discussion session for the first IBPS prelims mock test for HashLearn. So the first mock test is over. I hope you have taken the mock examination and you must have seen what is the level of your preparation, also to understand what will be the structure of the paper. So because we design the mock papers to match the structure and difficulty level of the actual examination, so that you can get a clear understanding of how is your preparation going. Clear? So it's very important for everyone who is taking up the IBPS exams this year to make sure that you go through mock simulated tests of the IBPS prelims exam and make sure that you have your strategy in place, you have a clear understanding of how the paper can be and what areas you are going to focus on, right? So mock test is for a lot of self-evaluation also. You take a test, it's not just about taking the test and looking at the score that you have got, but you should go back and see every question in the examination that you got wrong. Why did you get a particular topic wrong? Is it because of lack of time that you had in the examination, or is it because you did not have the right concepts in place? Okay, this is a very important aspect of training or preparation for an examination, to understand or evaluate your preparation as well as your performance. So the questions which you have got right, it's not just sufficient to say that you have got it right, but to say also how much time have you taken for that question. Now that question that you got right, maybe by spending that extra time on that question you missed out on few other questions which you could have done right in lesser time and got a better score. So evaluation and understanding, analysis is very important aspect of your preparation, and that is the main reason why mock tests are so important and why you should attend mock test, to make sure that you do well in the actual examination on the actual day. So if you look at the paper, the IBPS prelims paper, we are discussing today first session, we are discussing the math part, the mathematics and data interpretation part, or that the quantitative ability section of the examination. As I'm sure that you know that the IBPS prelims contains 100 questions divided into 3 sections. So one is your mathematics and data interpretation, one is your reasoning, and the other one is English. So yesterday we had a discussion on the English section, and today we are going to discuss the mathematics and the reasoning section of the first mock examination from HashLearn. So looking at the maths paper, the first thing that we should do is to understand what type of questions came in the examination, and to just understand basically what is the difficulty level of these questions. So if you break down the paper and see, the structure is very similar to what came in 2017. So we have kept in mind the pattern that is there actually in the examination. So we have here number series. The first type of question is number series. Number series concepts you have already done, so I am sure you know what this type of question is about. There are 5 questions, that is a standard set for an IBPS prelims examination. 5 questions from number series, almost in every different, because IBPS prelims happens over a number of days. So every day in both the sessions, morning and afternoon, you will see that there are 5 questions from number series. That is almost fixed part in the examination. So number series is one area which you must focus, but that is one thing that you will definitely get. Sometimes this number series questions can be time taking, and few of the questions can be easy, but we have given to you to expose you to high difficulty number series questions. We have made sure that the number series questions are of high difficulty level. So 5 questions all of high difficulty level. Now how do we decide high difficulty level? Based on the type of calculation or how different the series is from the series which have come earlier in the past. So based on that, and how, because we also keep in mind, now when we set a paper, you have to understand we are talking about difficulty of a question with respect to the time that is available for you, right? You remember, you have 20 minutes only, right? So in 20 minutes you are going to attempt 35 questions. So in those 20 minutes, the time that you are going to allot for number series would be around 4, maximum 5 minutes, right? Now to solve those 5 questions in 5 minutes, how feasible it would be, based on that we judge the difficulty level of a question, right? So if you just sit down, normally in free time you have 20 minutes you spend on each number series question, 2 to 3 minutes, then that is you say that it's not so difficult. But always keep in mind, difficulty level will be judged based on the time available for you in the examination and the level of the examination also. Now approximation questions are again a constant feature of the examination, and you can see approximation questions in both the prelims exam as well as the mains examination. Clear? So 5 questions from approximation almost always are there on all these sessions of the examination. We have seen that in 2017 as well as 16 and 15, from the time when prelims and mains started, that is from 2015 till 2014 we only had one examination, and from 2015 we had two, that is prelims and mains. So from 2015 we have very carefully observed every paper, prelims and mains, and based on that we design a mock paper for you. Okay, the level of difficulty was approximation questions, if you have the right calculation techniques, can be done quite fast. These 5 questions were of moderate difficulty level. Okay. Then we come to the next constant feature, almost constant feature of the examination, based on again the previous year paper, was the question set on quadratic equations. So quadratic equations, again we have 5 questions in the examination, and you can say the level of difficulty of these 5 questions go from moderate to high. Now the questions on quadratic equations are very simple in a way that you have to find out the roots of the quadratic equation. So the difficulty level then depends on how easy it is to factorize a quadratic equation and to find out the roots, and also keeping in mind that you are going to spend some 30-40 seconds only per question, and in each question we have 2 quadratic equations. Understand, one quadratic equation with respect to x and the other one with respect to y. So if I am saying that I am giving 30 to 40 seconds maximum on one question of quadratic equation data comparison, that means we are going to give 20 seconds per quadratic equation. Now in 20 seconds you have to solve a quadratic equation. If it is difficult to factorize the quadratic equation, it will not be that simple to get the answer in 20 seconds, right? It all depends on the time that is available to you. The question type is almost understood. We know from before this is going to come, that there is a quadratic equation, 2 quadratic equations will be there, one based on x, one based on y. We will solve, factorize, find out the roots in whichever way possible, either using formula or factorization, and then compare x and y. So it's we know the template, we know the question type. So what is the trick here? Now you only have 40 seconds for one question, 20 seconds per quadratic equation. So you should practice solving quadratic equations in just 20 seconds. So the difficulty level was moderate to high, and I can say there were 2 questions that are on moderate and 3 questions on a higher difficulty level. In some questions factorizing one quadratic equation is easy, while factorizing the other one was difficult. Clear? So we are keeping both the equations in mind while deciding on the difficulty level of the question. Now data interpretation questions, normally we have kept high difficulty level, introduced you to 2 completely new type of DI questions that have not come in exams before. So we are going to test you with something that you have not seen. Difficulty level is high, calculation is there, plus approach is also very different. So the 2 data interpretation sets, if you have not done, you should try solving them again and make sure that you learn the concepts or the data interpretation questions which came in the first mock exams. Okay, so difficulty level again is high here in the data interpretation questions. Speed, time and distance, which is again a frequently asked question type in banking exams, both prelims and mains, and we have seen over the years that from one year to the next the difficulty level of the speed, time, distance questions is constantly increasing, going towards more towards the difficulty level of exams like CAT. Okay, that is common admission test for the IIM, MBA and IIMs, right? So the difficulty level is going slightly up. That is why we have also tested you on a high difficulty set. There was one speed, time, distance question set containing 2 questions on it, right? So that is speed, time and distance. Simple interest, compound interest and profit and loss, you could say that there were 3 questions, 2 on profit and loss, 1 on compound interest. The profit and loss questions are moderate difficulty level, whereas the compound interest question was of high difficulty level. So if you see here again around 2 moderate and 3 high, again here we can say that 2 moderate and 1 high. Clear? So you will see exactly how many moderate questions were there in the paper. Again, keeping in mind the time available in front of you, knowing that you have to solve a question within 30 to 40 seconds itself. Ratio and partnership. There were a total of 4 questions from ratio and partnership. 2 questions were moderate and 2 were of high difficulty level. So again, here we have to see the ratio and proportion question set, 2 moderate and 2 high. 1 question on partnership. Partnership is again the ratio concept only. So I am counting partnership under ratio. So total of 4 questions. 1 from partnership was just a little bit of calculation, not so difficult, and 1 from ratio was easy. Moderate, again I will not say easy, it is a moderate difficulty level, and then the 2 questions on ratio were of high difficulty level. Okay, 1 ratio set was completely different, it has not yet come in any examination. So you can see this is a new type of question. So we are introducing you to new challenges that can come in the banking examination. If you keep preparing only with what has happened in the past, it's not going to work out so much for you. Okay, now numbers is not a very frequent topic. We have given 1 question from numbers based on LCM. The difficulty was moderate. So if you see overall in the paper, how many moderate questions were there? 1, 2, 2, so here total 5 plus 2, 7 and plus 5. So 12 questions clearly were of moderate difficulty level. So out of 35, 12 were moderate and 23 were high difficulty based on the time available, and overall also the questions were of high difficulty. So you can see here now, how do you plan? You have only 20 minutes. That means a person who misses out on these 12 moderate questions is not going to clear the sectional cutoff of the quantitative section. 12 moderate questions are there. That means a well prepared student can definitely do these 12 questions. Okay, plus now if you say moderate difficulty level, so out of 20 minutes, around 10 to 11, maximum 12 minutes you can solve these 12 questions. You have 12 marks ready with you, and you also have 8 minutes left. Out of the 23 high difficulty questions, at least 6 questions a person can definitely attempt. So we can say that around 18 should be the cutoff of this section. So if you have not got 18 out of the mathematics section, 35 questions, if you have not scored 18, you have missed out on the cutoff of this particular section. Clear? So 18 is the cutoff that we will say for the mathematics section. So we have seen here all the things, what type of questions came, how many questions from each area, what were the question types, difficulty level wise, high, moderate, how many questions exactly were moderate difficulty level, how many of high, and what should be the expected cutoff if this paper had to come in a real examination scenario. Around 18 marks I would say should be the cutoff of this paper. Okay, now let's see some of the questions I am going to discuss with you to make you understand, one, what is the difference in these questions, how are these questions completely new, and also to see some of the moderate questions and some of the high difficulty questions which are completely new again. So I am going to discuss those questions which are very different from whatever has happened in banking exams earlier. So let's see this question here. This is a ratio question. Again, it's not come before. It's a very different concept of ratios, where we are going to scale ratios in a table format. It says here very clearly, Ajay spends 3/4 of his monthly income, Binod spends 3/5 of his monthly income, and Chetan spends 4/7 of his monthly income. If their monthly savings are in the ratio 3:8:9 and their total monthly savings is rupees 24,000, then what is the monthly income of Binod? Let's do it. Let's first understand here that there are 3 persons. One is Ajay. Okay, Ajay is there, and we are talking about income. So what is Ajay's income, what is his expenditure, what is his savings? Okay, Ajay spends 3/4 of his monthly savings. That means if his total monthly income, not savings, Ajay spends 3/4 of his monthly income. So if I have to take his monthly income as 4, he will be spending 3. Suppose he is earning 4 rupees, then he will be spending 3 rupees because he is spending 3/4 of his monthly income. So what will be his savings? 1. This gives us the first ratio of income, expenditure and saving for the person Ajay. Let's take the second person, Binod, and Binod spends 3/5 of his monthly income. So what is, if say Binod earns 5 rupees, then he spends 3 rupees out of that, and that leaves him with a saving of 2 rupees. So 532, that gives us the ratio of income, expenditure and savings for Binod. Finally, let's take Chetan. Chetan spends 4/7 of his monthly income. Okay, so 4/7. So if Chetan's income is 7 rupees, he is spending 4/7 of it. So out of 7 rupees, he is spending 4 rupees, and that leaves him with a savings of 3 rupees. So what do we get here? 3 ratios, and the 3 ratios are all different because they are in different scales, they are not related to each other. The ratio of income, expenditure and savings for Ajay 431, for Binod 532 and for Chetan 743. Now what is given to us is that if the monthly savings are in the ratio 3:8:9, what is the ratio of savings? 3:8:9 respectively, means for Ajay, Binod and Chetan 3:8:9. Now the savings that we see here 1, 2, 3, we don't see 3, 8, 9. See, the savings of Ajay is 1, Binod's saving is 2 and Chetan's saving is 3. So if we can use this ratio and we scale these ratios completely, so to get 3, first we can multiply this ratio with 3. To get 8, I can multiply this entire ratio with 4, and to get 9, I can multiply this third ratio with 3. So what we get here, A, B, C, we get a scaled ratio of income, expenditure, savings. When you multiply the first one with 3, we get here 12, 9 and 3. We get second one, we multiply with 4, so we get here 20, 12 and 8, and then the third one with 3, we get 21, 12 and 9. Now you can see very clearly that the ratio of savings has become 3:8:9. So this entire ratio grid that you see here is all are connected now with each other. So what do we do now? We simply multiply x to each one. Each value can take the same factor x. Once you multiply with x, then we see what is happening here. The total monthly savings is 24,000. So savings of Ajay 3x plus Binod 8x plus Chetan 9x, that is 20x, and we know 20x is given to us as 24,000. So if we cancel, x becomes equal to 1200. What is x equal to 1200? What is the monthly income of Binod? So look at Binod, and Binod's monthly income is 20x. So 20x is nothing but 20 into 1200. It's already given to us. 20x is 24,000, but let's do it like this. 20 into 1200, that is equal to 24,000. So you can see here the answer becomes 24,000. Now this much you have to do, understand the question, understand how we are going to scale the ratios, bring them all together in one scaled grid of ratios, and then solve. And the time expected, you have to do this in exam within 30 to 40 seconds, reading, understanding everything, and that is what makes this question of high difficulty level. One is completely new. This scaling of ratios of this type has not come earlier in banking exams, completely new. So that is testing you with something different and testing your understanding of ratios above everything else. Okay, and so many steps are there. So this is what I'm talking about, a high difficulty question in ratios. Let's move on to the next question. Completely new, never before has come in an examination like banking. It's clearly a good question. A lot of information is there, a lot of understanding is required to be able to solve this question. This is a question on speed, time, distance, question 29 and 30 from your mock test 1 from the section of quantitative. Okay, now you see here what is given to you. Akshay and Salman start running from two opposite points A and B, 40 kilometers apart. The distance between the points A and B is 40 kilometers. When Akshay and Salman meet at a point, they turn back towards A and B respectively. So when they are running from 2 points, when they meet, they return back to the same 2 points. Okay, they turn back, start running towards each other, and on reaching A and B, so when they reach back A and B, they again turn back and start running towards each other till they meet, after which they turn back again, and this process goes on. So they start from A and B, they meet at a point, turn back towards A and B. Once they reach back to the starting point, they turn back again towards each other, then again meet at some point, and then this process of turning back and meeting keeps going on. Also, every time they meet, so what is the additional part here? Also, every time they meet, their speeds get interchanged. Clear? The speed of Akshay will start then running after the point of meeting. When they turn back, Akshay starts running with the speed at which Salman was running, and Salman starts running with the speed at which Akshay was running. Akshay and Salman started running at 8 o'clock. The speeds of, it's 8 in the morning, so okay, with speeds of 10 and 8 kilometers respectively. At what time will they meet for the second time, and how far is the second meeting point from A? So you just understand, in an examination where you have only 20 minutes to solve the entire paper, reading this caselet alone will take, and understanding this caselet alone will take around 40 seconds. If you had other questions in the examination, you could have skipped this first, went on and solved the other questions, and only when there is nothing left and you still have time left from the 20 minutes, you should have come to this question. Because if you start solving this question before itself, it will not be very good for you. See, because you understand, it's also a lot about selecting the right questions. It's not just about solving questions. You cannot do 35 questions in 20 minutes in exam scenario in an online test. Clear? Because in an online test, you need more time. You read something on the screen, then you have to solve it on a rough sheet of paper, keep coordinating between the screen and the paper, and then mark the answer on the screen. Compared with the paper based test, the same question takes more time to solve in an online test. So ideally you should have left this question in the first round of attempts and only come back to it when there is nothing else left for you to solve. Okay. However, we will understand what this question is, and if you were smart enough, you would have solved this question very quickly. So after you have read for 40-30 seconds and understood the question, in another 30-40 seconds the entire question can be solved. So let's say 80 seconds, 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes. If you can solve these two questions, that's good. No, you're getting 2 marks in 1.5 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Let's see what this question is, how it can be solved quickly in the examination. So first of all, let's see, Ajay and Salman start from opposite points A and B. The distance between A and B we know is 40 kilometers. Akshay starts from A and Salman starts from B. And what is the respective speeds of Akshay and Salman? So it's at 10 kilometers per hour and 8 kilometers per hour respectively. So Akshay is running at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. 1 second. Akshay is running at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour and Salman is running at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour. They are moving towards each other. They meet at a particular point. Let's say they meet at some point X. They meet at this point. This is the meeting point for Akshay and Salman. So they both come at this particular point, and how much time they have taken to come to this point, all that we'll see later. So they meet at this point. After this point, Akshay has to start running back and Salman also starts running back. But when Salman is running back, he is running now with the speed of Akshay. So that means he is running back at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, and Akshay is now running at a speed of Salman, that is speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Now if you understand this one thing, in a total way Salman has run from here to here at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, and now Akshay is continuing from this point backwards towards this at 8 kilometers per hour. So total time for him to reach this point will be how much? That you have to understand. It's almost like Salman only has completed this entire track. Okay. The total point I can directly calculate 40 by is a 8, 5 hours. What will happen after 5 hours? Who will be at what point? Clear? Who will be at what point? And this, don't worry about Akshay and Salman, just continue counting it as Salman itself, because the speed is 8. So if you count it here, After 5 hours, that is starting from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So at 1 o'clock, let's say at 1 p.m. Let's say Akshay is here, okay, and at 1 p.m. What is happening for Salman? You see now, Akshay ran from this point onwards to this point at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, and Salman is now covering this remaining part at 10 kilometers per hour. 40 by 10, 4 hours. That means from 8, if you count, 9, 10, 11, 12, at 12 o'clock itself Salman would reach here at this point, and Akshay is reaching here at 1 o'clock. That means Salman will get 1 more hour. In that 1 more hour, Salman can cover a distance of 10 kilometers, because Salman is still running at the speed of Akshay, that is 10 kilometers per hour. So 10 kilometers can be done, and the remaining distance would be 30 kilometers. And the time right now is 1 o'clock. So at 1 p.m. Salman is here, at 1 p.m. Akshay is here at point A. The distance between them is 30 kilometers. Now Akshay is running towards Salman, Salman is running toward Akshay. Akshay is still running the speed of Salman, that is at 8 kilometers per hour, and Salman is running with the speed of Akshay, that is at 10 kilometers per hour, and distance between them is 30 kilometers. So time taken to meet now, this will be the second meeting, because the first meeting was here at this point. The second meeting point, time taken for the second meeting point after 1 o'clock will be equal to 30 divided by the relative speed of Akshay and Salman, that is 18. So you can say here 6 into 5, 6 into 3, 5 by 3 of an hour, 5 by 3 of an hour, and 5 by 3 of an hour. So you can say this will cancel 20 times, 100 minutes they will take. 100 minutes means 1 hour and 40 minutes. From 1 o'clock, if you count 1 hour and 40 minutes, it's 2:40. So at 2:40 they are going to meet for the second time, second meeting. The second meeting point will be at 2:40. Now we can also calculate how far the distance was there. So for example, here we can say how far is the second meeting point from A. So what is the speed of Akshay from the point A here? We can calculate that and find out the answer. The detailed solution of this question with the diagrams is there in your mock papers. You can go through that and understand how to make diagrams and solve and find out the answer for this particular question. Okay. So this is a question which requires a lot of understanding and solving to get the correct picture, to make the entire question easily understandable, and then approach and solve the question. Alright. So let's continue with the discussion for the questions here. Let's look at the question number 35, which is again a very different question. It has not come earlier in the paper here, so you can see it's a compound interest question. Question on compound interest. Mr. Ram invested rupees 1,56,250 in a scheme where the interest for first year was 10%, interest for second year was 15%, and interest for third year was 20%. Also at the end of each year, Ram had to pay 20% income tax on the interest earned. What is the total amount Ram received at the end of the third year? So how is this a new question for you? Because you understand, we have given to you that there are three interests. First year interest is different, 10%, second year interest is 15%, and third year interest is 20%. That is the one thing that is very different in this question compared to the previous questions. First year interest 10%, second year interest 15%, third year interest 20%. And normally we know the formula for amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 power T. However, when the rate of interest is not same, amount can be calculated as P into 1 plus R1 by 100 into 1 plus R2 by 100 into 1 plus R3 by 100. So that would be the normal formula for this question, but again one more complexity is added to this question, that is 20% income tax is there at the end of each year. So whatever interest you earn in the first year, you have to calculate 20% income tax on that, deduct it, then add it to the principal, then again calculate the interest for second year, again calculate 20% income tax, and then go on. But what we can do is simplify this question. Let's see, 20% income tax on the first year, that is 10% interest, that is 2%. 20% of 10% is 2%. 20% for the next year 15%, 20% of 15% is 3%. And for the third year 20% income tax on 20% is equal to 4%. Thus what we do is find out the net rate of interest, subtract 10 minus 2, that gives you 8%. So first year interest is 8%. Now subtract 20 minus 3, 15 minus 3, so 15 minus 3, that gives you 12%, that is the next year's rate of interest. And then finally calculate 20 minus 4, that is 16, that gives you the third year interest. Now you can put everything in the formula. Amount is equal to 156,250 into 1 plus 8 by 100 into 1 plus 12 by 100 into 1 plus 16 by 100. And then by solving this, 4 into 2, 4 into 25, 4 into 3, 4 into 25, 4 into 4, 4 into 25, and then adding we get 156,250 into 25 plus 2, 27 by 25, 28 by 25, and then 29 by 25. Okay. So that is equal to the value given here. So again what you see, lots of calculation is there. You can say, imagine solving this question in 1 minute, how feasible it would be. That's why we say this is a high difficulty question set in the examination. Okay, it's a high difficulty question. So why is it high difficulty? 2-3 reasons are there. One is that the rate of interest every year is different. Second, we are adding the concept of calculating income tax in that, and you can only solve this within the given time when you find out the net rate of interest and you are able to calculate and get this value very quickly. Okay. So this is the question that is again very important for you to learn. This is question number 35 from your mock test 1 of IBPS mock test prelims, that was done on the 27th. Okay. Now the next question, this is the question number 26. This is a ratio question. We can say is a moderate difficulty question from ratio. So ratio, we have an advanced difficulty, we have also seen, we can see in a moderate difficulty. This is one question from ratio that you should not have missed while solving. So careful selection is very important, otherwise you will find it extremely difficult to do well in the exam. So it says here the ratio of present age of wife and husband is 8:9. Wife to husband, the ratio of present age of wife and husband is 8:9. One second, okay. 8:9 is the present age of wife and husband. So we can say this is 8x and this is 9x. Present age of wife and husband is 8x and 9x. After 16 years, this is the present age. Okay, so this is present age. After 16 years, the ratio will become 12:13. So after 16 years, wife will grow older by 16 years. And husband will also grow older by 16 years. 8x plus 16 and 9x plus 16, but this ratio is given to us as 12:13. So we can say 8x plus 16 divided by 9x plus 16 is equal to 12 upon 13. So you can cross multiply. 13 into 8 is 104x, and 13 into 6 is 78, 7 in hand, 208. So 104x plus 208 is equal to 12 into 9, that is 108x, plus 12, 120 plus 72, that is equal to 192. So now what we can do is 108x minus 104x is equal to 208 and 192, difference is 16. So that's 4x equal to 16, or x is equal to 4. So we get the value of x. Now once x is equal to 4, we multiply here 4, 8 into 4 32, 9 into 4 36, that means the current age of the husband is 32, and the current age of the wife is 32 and the current age of the husband is 36. Okay. Now we have to see what is given to us. While at the time of their marriage, the ratio of their age was 5:6. Current age is 32:36, that we have found out from the previous ratio. So when in this moderate difficulty, that I am saying moderate, you can see so much calculation is there. So using the first ratio 12:13, we have found x, and using that we have found out the age of the wife and the husband right now. At the time of their marriage, the ratio was 5:6. Let's say they got married y years ago. How many years ago? Y years ago. They got married y years ago. Right now the age of wife is 32, so y years ago the age would be 32 minus y, and the current age of husband is 36, so y years ago his age would be 36 minus y, and this ratio is how much? 5:6. So 32 minus y upon 36 minus y is equal to 5/6. Cross multiply 12, 6 into 2 12, and 18 plus 1 19. 192 minus 6y is equal to 180 minus 5y. Clear? So if you take 6y on one side, 6y minus 5y, 192 minus 180, or y is equal to 12. So how many years ago they got married? So we will say answer will be B, that is they got married 12 years ago. So this is a moderate difficulty because at least you can solve this, right? You can see the ratios are given to you, you can put the values, you can solve this and get the answer. So it's not a very complicated question, but yeah, 2 levels of calculation we have. Understanding of the question should be also very good to get the answer. Okay. So moderate, what we say moderate is maybe high for many other people's point of view, but you see when you are preparing for examination, you must test yourself with the best possible questions. Okay. Alright. Now let's see this completely new type of question from data interpretation. That's based on 3 pie charts. It's not that they are based on 3 pie charts, that's why they are new. The way the question is designed, which is completely new and has not yet come in any banking examination. So this would be a new challenge if you see in any exam. So what is happening here? First is the percentage distribution of students is given to us. See, this is the first pie chart. Okay, percentage distribution of students in a college, and there are 5 departments: mechanical, electronics, computers, electrical, civil. So you know this is mechanical, this is electronics, this is computer, this is electrical, and this is civil. Same thing for now percentage distribution for male students is given to you. First we have percentage students for all students, then percentage distribution for male students in the same 5 departments, and then same thing for female students also, percentage distribution of female students. Clear? So you can see the total of all this is equal to your 100. That means out of the total males, 20% study in mechanical, 30% study in electronics, 15% males study in computers, 10% in electrical, and 25% in civil engineering. Similarly, out of all the female students in the college, 15% are in mechanical, 25% in electronics, 25% computers, 15% in electrical, and 20% in civil. And out of all the students in the college, 18% in mechanical, 28% in electronics, 19% in computers, 12% in electrical, and 23% in civil. So now there is no data of actual number of students. We don't know the number of students, we don't know the number of male students, we don't know the number of female students also. Now the question is here, what is the ratio of male students to female students in the college? How will you find out the answer? What is the ratio of male students to female students in the college from this data? If you don't have any data given to you, no, we don't know the number of students, we don't know the number of male students or the number of female students. Will the answer be cannot be determined? No, the answer is not cannot be determined. Without having any actual data, based on the 3 pie charts, we can solve and tell the answer. Using the concept of allegation to do it faster. Without allegation also you can do it, but with allegation you can do it quite fast. You see, let's look at how many, we have to find the ratio of male to females. Okay, so let's say how many male students are there in the college. I can take any branch and solve it. So let me take the branch of, let me take the mechanical engineering branch itself to solve this question. Okay, so let's understand here. Number of male students in mechanical engineering, 20%. Write down here 20. So I am taking mechanical, you can take any other department also, the answer will not change. Okay, so mechanical percentage of male students 20 and percentage of female students 15. Write down here 15, and you can see in mechanical total students are 18. So 18, 20 minus 18 2, 18 minus 15 3. So what is the ratio? 3:2. That is answer option B. If you know that this question is allegation question, you could see that it would be a very easy question for you. Otherwise you can keep solving, you will never get the answer. Now this is 21 and then 22. If the number of female students in computer department is 200, then what is the number of male students in electrical department? Now how do we solve this part? By using this ratio. What we know is that, let's say males are 3x and females are 2x. Number of female students in computer department is 200. If you see here, in computer department how many females are there? 25%. That means 25% of 2x is equal to 200. Correct? So 25 will cancel 100 4 times, 2 will cancel 4 2 times, x is equal to 400. So that means x is 400. There are 800 females, and if you multiply 4 into 3, 1200 males in the college. We get the data, number of males and females. Now we want to find out what is the number of male students in the electrical department. Total number of male students we know now 1200. And if you see in electrical department, the number of male students in the electrical department, that is here electrical, 10%. 10%. So 10% of 1200. Just let's see once again. This should be equal to 120. But why is that not the answer here? Let's see. So if the number of female students in computer department is 200, so did we check the number of female students in computer? That is 25%. 25% of 2x, that's equal to 4 and 2, and x is equal to 400. So 400 is the number of students here, and if you multiply 2 into 400, that will be total number of females would be equal to 800, and total number of males, if I take x value as 400, it will be 1200, and the number of male students in electrical department will be equal to how much? Okay, so in electrical department the number of male students is 10%. 10% should be 120. We'll have to check this once the question what will be the answer, but the correction, the calculation is correct here. The number of male students in electrical department should be equal to 120. So we'll have to just see what will be the answer. We have to check the answer in the options also. Okay, so that's how you solve this question in the actual paper. Now let's see the question from the quadratic equation part, that is 11 to 15. I have taken one question just for you to understand. So if you see this question, we have two equations given to you, 2x square minus 70x plus 612 equal to 0, and 2y square plus 12y minus 782 equal to 0. First what you should do is simplify the quadratic equation. So if you divide by 2, 2x square minus 70x plus 612, divide by 2 to simplify it because common factor is there. So that's x square minus 35x plus 304, right? Okay, 306. Alright, so x square minus 35x plus 306 equal to 0, that will become your quadratic equation 1. Solving for x, you'll get the roots as 17 or 18. See, 17 into 18 is 306. You can factorize it also. That's how you got the roots here, 17 and 18. Now if you take the second one, 2y square plus 12y minus 782 equal to 0. So if you divide by 2 again here, we get y square plus 6y minus 391 equal to 0. The roots difficult to factorize, that's why this is the high difficulty question, difficult to factorize, but the roots are y equal to minus 23 or y equal to 17. You see 17 into 23 equal to 391. Both 17 and 23 are prime numbers. That is why this is the high difficulty question, because you have to, difficulty is there in terms of factorizing the question. Once you have found out the roots, let us just plot here how to compare the roots in the best possible way. X is 17, 18, so write down here x is 17, x is 18 and y is 17 and minus 23. You can see here y is less than equal to x, one value of y is equal to x, other one is less. So what will be the answer here? Y is less than equal to x. So answer is answer option D. So some of the important questions from the paper we have discussed in terms of what is the meaning of high difficulty questions and how should we approach them. Also initial discussion on the types of questions that have come, how many questions were there and what was the difficulty level of those questions, right. So keep understanding and analyzing your performance in the mock test. Go through the solution of the mock test from the solution provided to you in the HashLearn website or app, and then each question should try solving again and again to make sure that you have completely mastered that particular question. So keep attending the mock test. Best of luck for your mock test in the future, and keep attending the discussion class on the mock test too. Thank you. Best of luck.